The following program may contain subject matter and language that those with a weak constitution will find distasteful and offensive. You've been warned.
Dude, WTF.
Oh, man. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck, man?
What the fuck?
Come on, man.
Dude,
what the fuck? What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Come on, man. What
WTF, dude?
What the fuck, man?
Get in here. What the?
Holy shit, what the fuck?
WTF, man.
Dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh my god, what the fuck? WTF, dude. WTF, oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, November 28th, 2011. Welcome to this edition of WTF here on the Orion Talk Radio Network. Tonight, I'm your MC, Popeye from FederalJack.com. I also have a show here on Orion called Down the Rabbit Hole 3 days a week. And tonight, I'm joined by a slew of hosts and free-thinking individuals. And we're all sitting here at the virtual bar, ready to, slap down our virtual drinks and get on talking. So let's get with it. First, Ken Hildebrand from the Information Nation here on Orion Talk Radio. Ken.
How you doing, Popeye?
How's it going, brother? Next, we got Joe Joseph from the Freedom Link Radio. Joe, say hello.
You boys ain't the ones that's been whacking in my tool shed, have you?
You sound just like Hank Hill when you say that. It's so creepy. Ugh. My good friend Jules from Radio X. Jules, say hello.
Hi, Popeye.
And the one and only troll magnet of Truth Radio.
Come
Is
on,
that chick magnet or troll magnet?
No, you're a troll magnet. I don't know what you do, Bob, but Mr. Bob Tuskin himself is here, ladies and gentlemen. So that means it's only a few minutes before the loser trolls enter the chat. Welcome, guys.
I'm not a drinker, so I kind of have to reject your little. We're at this virtual bar.
It's bar / coffee house in Amsterdam. Does that make you happy?
Fair enough. Thank you,
Bobby. I sure hope you didn't bring the trolls with you tonight.
You know, they follow me, Joe. They just love me, I tell you.
Hey, man, your show was great in that it really highlighted just the importance of homeschooling, which is probably why you got trolled like crazy. Because I seem to find a lot of times that, especially dealing with whole direct family members, that you're a black sheep for doing so.
Joe, do you homeschool
really
your kids?
Taboo. I do.
Awesome.
Yep. Best thing I ever did, man.
I should have
Best
called you.
thing I ever did.
We homeschooled our son. And people that talk about homeschooling that have never done it don't know Federal Jack.
Well, what happened? What did it end up well?
Sure it did. We pulled him out of school. We pulled him out of public school because of all the garbage that was going on. We educated him at home, and then we put him in private school, and he had a better education than any of his friends did. And as far as this BS about socializing and that, they don't understand.
It's all crap.
There's an entire community out there of homeschoolers, and they have events and they have places for the kids to go on the weekends. You take them. And the local schools, like we had a private school here that had all the homeschooling material. And if he wanted to play sports, he could just sign up for it and go over there and sign up for it. And they'd bring him in, put him in his grade level and let him play sports. So that argument, that kind of goes out the window. There's
My kids actually belong to a homeschool co-op. So one day a week they go to it's a Baptist church here in the northern North Carolina area, that actually we have like 40 families that get together, and some parents may be strong in one subject area and others may be strong in another. So, for example, my son, who's at the high school level, he's taking public speaking, he's taking his English, his math, all that stuff, and then they send him home with enough, with enough homework to do 5 days. So it makes my job easier because he's already got his work cut out for him for the week, and then all I got to do is kind of augment what they give him for assignments. But the thing is they go and they socialize with all of these other homeschoolers, and it's funny because we have some of my son's friends, they ask me, well, what do they do for discipline? What's their discipline policy? And I said, I don't know. There's no problems there. I've never seen anybody get in trouble. So
hey, Joe,
it's funny. Go ahead.
Have you noticed with your son, with your kids that are being homeschooled, the funny thing about it is you get through so much more curriculum. You're actually, by the end of this, what would be a normal school year for the regular kids, you're looking for stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you arrange your vacations to go to educational places.
Sure.
That's what these people don't understand. They're so used to being stuffed in this matrix. But when this country was first founded, everybody homeschooled.
Absolutely. And let me take it a step farther. See, my son was failing miserably. He was in the 8th grade. He wasn't doing well at all. Virginia has something called the Standards of Learning, which is the No Child Left Behind state test.
Oh no.
That students have to pass in order to graduate and get their diploma. And his 8th grade scores, I think he scored like a 37 on it. And I said, man, this kid is not that stupid. I know it. So I said, is there any way he can take it in front of a computer? And they said, yeah, sure, he could take it in front of a computer. And when he did that, he got a 74. And I said, wait a minute. So then I asked, well, can I sit through a couple days of classes to just kind of understand what he's going through and how, and maybe see where he's struggling? And that was the big eye-opener. Because what I come to find out is the schools teach to tests, and then out of the school day, they probably spend on average 3 hours or so learning. The rest is socializing or testing.
Yeah.
So I said, well, crap, man, we could do this at home. So we pulled him out, and as soon as we did, the first thing that I focused on was teaching my son how to learn. To hell with all the subject area or anything else. The first thing you have to do is teach your child how to learn. Once you teach them how to learn and you find out what it is that makes them tick, what it is that interests them, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the subject area or the content, because you know how to tailor it to their what they're capable of, because no two children are wired the same.
That's exactly right.
And you can't stamp USDA on their ass and send them through.
Well, you can, but do any good. The thing is, when kids are being educated in school today, and I bet anybody in public school doesn't do this. When my son used to have to sit down and write a report, my son's 39 years old, so he's out of school, thank God. But when he had to do a book report, he would sit down with a stack of 3x5 cards. And as he read the book, he would take notes. And then he would take those notes and go back through the book, and he would refine those notes. Till eventually, after about the 4th draft, he had his completed book report. Kids today write a book. I read this book. It was good. And that's the end of their book report. My son, when he went to school, both public and private, and homeschooled, we made sure that he had to understand what he was reading. Reading comprehension is very important. Yeah, and when he was done with it, and even today, he would a lot of times rather sit down and read a book than watch TV. But it's got to hold his...
That's great.
And something interesting is that now my son, he doesn't do high school level work anymore. All his, anything that I assign him is pretty much a research paper at this point. So he does all his research papers in APA format, just like a lot of colleges. You have the 12 pitch, you have the Times New Roman font, double spaced, this many pages. Make sure you put your references in, cite your sources. Don't use Wikipedia. Make sure you use scholarly sources. And so he's 15 years old, and that's where he is, because you're not held to any standard. You're not held to say, well, this is what they have to achieve. He's not being held back by anybody else. He's free to learn and do what he wants to do. And a lot of the stuff, I let him choose the topics, the subject area.
Sure, and you can push him harder on it. You can give him a lot more difficult homework to work on.
Right, and it still only takes him 2 or 3 hours a day.
Yeah, and it keeps him in. Yeah, the school day doesn't have to be 6 hours long. It can be 4 hours long, 3 hours long. But the thing is, a lot of times, Dad goes to work. Dad comes home from work. What'd you study today? And you're talking to Mom, and everything is centered around the education. And our schools are so lacking.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is that here's a.
I feel like I'm in a 70s chase scene where I'm driving like a Nova.
I'd like to feel that way, but I can hardly hear the damn music, man.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't hear the bumper going out of the first segment.
We just kept talking.
The conversation was so good, we just kept talking until we heard the commercial come up. So, just
Jules.
in case you guys got cut off, go back about a minute and a half to what you guys were talking about before the break came up, about homeschooling and stuff.
Well, Jules was about to say something about homeschooling, and I think that's where we got cut off. It's right there. So, Jules, take it away.
Okay. I just wanted to bring a little different perspective, being a parent of a child who just started kindergarten, and I was very torn between homeschooling and sending her to public school. And, my family pressured me, that's what you have to do. So we decided we'd give it just a year. We'd see how it goes. And what I found is, we've worked very hard at trying to find what makes her tick, and she's excelled in anything we've ever put in front of her. And now here she is in kindergarten, and the stuff that they're learning now are things that we did back when she was 2 years old,
What do you mean by find what makes her tick? I don't know that I understand that.
Like how she learns, does she like to learn hands-on, book learning, drawing, that type of thing? And also,
so you found out what turns her on, what stimulates her.
Right, and how to engage her, because once you get them engaged and excited, then it's very easy. But, we've discovered that the work that they're doing now is stuff that we did 3 years ago, and she's really being held back. She's the teacher's helper, and she's helping teach all the other kids, which is good. I mean, that helps you learn, but she's not learning anything new.
Hey, let me get a little screwy on you, Jules, for a second too. Believe it or not, there's certain characteristics with when you're born, based on, for example, if you're a Scorpio or you're a Sagittarius or whatever, you can kind of glean what kind of personality or what kind of learning, what interests you're going to have based on that. It's weird. It's sick weird. I was totally not into that, but when my wife kind of read me the description of my oldest son, being a Scorpio, he's reserved, he concentrates, very big on concentration, artsy-fartsy kind of, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't know he knew how to draw until he just started taking the art class that he did at the homeschool co-op. And, I mean, he just does, I'm blown away by his artwork. Holy crap, I never knew you could do that. He says, I never kind of breached that subject.
Wow.
Oh, check.
Yeah, it's a natural talent. And that's the thing, though. In school, they don't even... My husband is quite an amazing artist since he was a little kid, and she picked that up. But, here they are in art class, and they're giving them Curious George coloring book pages. That's what she's bringing home. And she's like, Mommy, I'm bored. I'm like, well, can't you just ask them for a piece of paper and a set of, 20 markers or something? I don't know. Just to me, Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jules. Sorry.
I was just going to finish my thought. I felt I had to give school a chance. And next year, I definitely think we're going to have to do something different.
Is this your first child going through the public school system?
First and only, yep.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with public schools. They don't challenge the kids anymore. Everything is just cut and paste. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. We've got to teach English as a second language. We've got to dumb everything down for the slowest student. Which by the time she's in 3rd or 4th grade, I'll tell you what's going to happen. 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, she's going to become a problem because she has no challenges. She's bored. So she's going to act up. And then they're going to do what they do to a lot of kids. They'll put her on Ritalin and say she's attention disorder deficit, whatever the heck it is. They're going to play those games. They tried doing that with my son. And when we yanked him out of school, here's a good one for you. It was just rumored that we were going to homeschool him, and they checked him out of school. So we said, okay, you made the decision for us. So we homeschooled him. From that point on, he stopped. I mean, he did the normal kid stuff, but he wasn't a pain. But kids today, even back when I was in school, if they're not challenged, they become a problem, a behavioral problem.
Yeah. That's what I said to my family in the very beginning, and they thought I was just being melodramatic. But I see that will be the chain of events. And she even does that at home. When she's bored, she acts up, And then
they'll pump her full. They'll want to pump her full of Ritalin, and they'll tell you that she's a problem child and everything else. That's exactly what they did to me.
She'll end up just like Popeye.
I was going to say, God, dog, please.
Well, you know what? They ended up eating their words because they did the same crap to me, and then I've recanted the story how I've been on I hung out in the air conditioning for 2 weeks, and then when they found out that I was hosing them, they got really mad, and it was like ha 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 ha, and. That's what happens a lot of times. These kids, these kids that are really intelligent and think outside the box, they're automatically red flagged because they think outside the box. That's the problem. That's a major problem for them.
I have
children that think outside the box, very bad. Look at Bob. Bob's in college still. He thinks outside the box. He's not like the average university student. And I bet you throw up red flags to a lot of teachers, don't you? Or professors or whatever the hell you call them.
I don't like to admit. I don't like to admit it, but yeah, I'm finishing my last year at the University of Florida with a philosophy degree, which is a piece of paper that whatever.
Gets him a cab driver's license.
Philosophy degree?
Yeah,
really.
That's right up there with liberal arts. It's not engineering or anything else. It's philosophy. So you get to drive people around and philosophize.
Yeah. So that will be fun. I do a talk show where I philosophize. It's called What the Anyways, no, but this education conversation has complemented the show that I did tonight so beautifully. And, I've hardly wanted to say anything because you guys have brought up so many good points. And you're right, they don't challenge the kids enough. And they tell them to give them an answer, whether it's A, B, C, or D, or it's true or false, and it has to be the answer that they expect. They have to color in the lines, okay? They can't color outside of the lines, and it all starts with that, with your daughter, Jules, getting the color in the lines art class rather than allowing her to have the freedom of drawing for herself. The second they told me as a kid that I had to color in the lines, I didn't like that.
Right.
That's where it all begins.
They should take a lesson from sports. And if you look at a sports team, I don't care how good they are. If they're playing a bottom of the worst team in baseball, they play at that level. And if the bottom team is playing the top team in baseball that really wants to win, all of a sudden you're wondering, where did this team come from? These guys haven't won a game all year, and all of a sudden they're right there neck and neck with a team that is in the top of their game. Kids will react to being pushed. And I'm not talking about, yelling or screaming or howling, but just push them intellectually and be amazed at how good they can be.
and how much they can remember and how much they can deduce. I mean, the homework, there is no challenge at all. It doesn't make them free think. It doesn't make them think of consequences, you know. And I don't know. I don't think that type of person is going to be able to get along in tomorrow's world, unfortunately. They will be sheep.
They're not able to get along. They're not able to get along at all, and that's why they have such problems. That's why look at these kids now. Next time you go shopping, go to Publix and look at the kid that's working the register. Something happens and it's like they freeze up. They don't know what to do. There's no cognitive thought going on in their head. There's no function. They're only able to regurgitate things onto a piece of paper. Guys, stay tuned. Hang on right there. We're going to break. Hold on, guys. We're going to break. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Getting ziggy with it. Or is it jiggy?
There is something about it.
I heard you called Jimmy, and you're borrowing this for your bumper music for your show, Bob.
I'd like to start using this. And welcome back to the Bob Tuskin Show.
It would complement the trolls well.
Joe, how about you? What do you think? You think Freedom Link Radio would sound awesome with some of this music?
Absolutely not.
No.
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 It's kind of growing on. I have to
Joe's
admit.
got new music.
Oh, no. Please, no, Ken.
Sailor, what will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Way, hey, up she rises, way, hey, up she rises, way, hey, up she rises early in the morning. Shave his belly with the rusty razor, shave his belly with the rusty razor, shave his belly with the rusty razor.
Where did this come from? That's what I want to know. Where in the world did you pull this out of?
Oh, you get this stuff all over the place, but that's Freedom Link's new bumper music.
Ken's ass.
That's Ken's personal stash. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's Ken and all his friends serenading Joe.
That's what happens to Marines, you know, man. Their ass it's cavernous, if you will.
Yeah, we shaved their belly with a rusty razor too.
Is the rusty razor like a rusty trombone? All right, I'll leave it at that. Anyway, changing direction and getting a little serious.
Anyhow,
Jules.
we were talking about schools, and I told you I'd have a quick little story for you.
Oh, that's right. Ken wants to finish up with the schools. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, a number of years ago, my uncle went to the Jules, and they had apples, 10 for $1, so he got 12. And he went out to checkout, and the girl up there says, well, these are 10 for $1. He says, yeah. He says, I want 12. And she says, couldn't you just buy 10 or 10 for $1? He says, no, I want 12. She had to pull out a calculator to figure out that they were 10 cents each. That's a very good indication of our school system. Go ahead, Popeye.
That's very sad, but that happens very often, Ken. I'm glad you actually brought that up.
I mean, how many times do you see the McDonald's now, the cash registers that
That's
make
what
the
I'm
change?
talking about. Well, that's what I'm talking about. The people can't do it themselves. Dude, go to Target, don't go to Walmart. I hate Walmart, but if you go to, like, not a family-run store, usually the family-run stores are pretty good because the father or mother, you know, won't tolerate things like that. But most of the time,
Walmart?
in the, like, you know, big Target, big Walmart, something like that, go there and watch what happens if there's a problem at the register.
Papa, you hate Walmart?
Yes.
I'm going, just because you hate it.
Good. Well, I know you live out in the middle of nowhere, so the only thing you have is either Walmart or
Mom and Pop
together with some sticks and some rock. So
no, actually, it's like the tackle shop, vet,
it's
U-Haul, and grocery and shell station.
Yeah, all in one.
Daryl and Daryl's bait shop and Emporium.
Joe lives out in the middle of nowhere.
Literally,
that's what I said.
We have
Daryl and Daryl's bait shop and Emporium.
In 15 miles, right? There is one store and one gas station within a 15-mile radius.
Okay, well then, let me ask you, when you go to your Walmart, do you have to deal with retarded more? Like, I live in an urban area. I live in Miami. You know, I'm moving soon, but where I live, it's very condensed. So I would expect to see a lot more stupid people. But what about how about you? I mean, is Jethro's son able to handle the register, or does he have to call for help?
No, it's different. It's a different type of clientele, I guess you could say. Now, if I go to say, let me just say, if I go to one in like Virginia Beach, right? Virginia Beach is a fairly large population center, and you go there, oh, forget it. Not only is it just god-awful crowded, but it's god-awful crowded with stupid people. And you just can't help yourself. At least the hillbillies like to, they kind of respect each other. Whereas you go into the population centers, no one respects anybody. You know, if you come out here, there's neighborly things, you know. It's kind of like you get thrown back to the 50s, you know, when you move into your house and then the guy down the street, you know, brings you that apple pie or whatever, the white, you know, and it's just, there's that community sense that you don't have anymore. See, now in these neighborhoods, you don't want to know your neighbors. As a matter of fact, you're all freaked out if they're like friendly. Well, why is he getting all friendly and whatnot?
That's how people are where I live, dude. Sometimes people are nice to each other, but a lot of times people look at you like, "Why are you talking to me?"
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like I have the greenest lawn. I have the most lawn swans or whatever they are.
I have most stuff.
Yeah.
Well, where I live, it's even worse because I live in a high-rise apartment complex. I showed you video where I live, Joe. What did you and your wife call it? You guys said it looked like a prison complex.
It looked like a cell block, man. It did. I'm just saying.
One of the reasons I'm moving. I don't like it here. Can't stand it. You know, I feel like I'm back in the barracks, dude.
Most Popeye stuff.
It reminds me of living in the barracks.
Joe, by the way, I visited Popeye's beautiful studios recently, and it was great. I got to tell you, it may appear on camera to be like a prison, but it really is a top-notch radio studio with all the amenities. The only problem was that full cavity search that I was forced to have before entering.
But did you
they
back
didn't
up
have to force you?
Did you back up on the hand?
Well, Popeye's a nice guy, and you know how that works.
That's disgusting, Joe.
Because it's gay if you back up on it.
I figured I had to introduce a what the moment.
There you go. That would definitely be a what the F moment if I really did, you know, our full body cavity searches.
Yeah, if you guys were playing grab ass, that's no.
My complex pretty much requires that to get into the building. It's.
Ugh.
I mean, I guess you could say it's cool, but to have like security. But I mean, at the end of the day, the gate that they have up is ridiculous. I could, you know, if I pushed on it with my hands, it would probably collapse. People rip the arm off
into your neighborhood.
What? Don't you feel safe?
No, you know. Well, I feel safe because I'm armed to the teeth. So if you break into my house, we're down here in Florida. We're allowed to defend ourselves. So you break into my place, you're going out in a little bag.
You break into Joe's place, you'll never be found again.
That's right.
Joe get his yard about 3-4 acres out into the middle of the yard, and he'll call one of his friends up with a backhoe.
He just calls Billy Joe. You know, they need some of that bar bait down there, and then just tie him to a tree.
Down here,
we don't have to.
It'll be like Fargo. You're going to see me with a chipper shredder out there.
Everglades down here, man. We got gators. They just take people out to the Everglades and dump them. The only thing they find is like a foot.
Gator bait.
Yep. It happens all the time.
Man.
There's more swamp out here than there is physical built on land because a lot of it's protected. That's why real estate in Florida doesn't build outward anymore. It goes upward. That's why South Florida has all these high-rise condos going up in the past 15, 20 years.
Because of the gators?
No, because there's no more room. You can only build so much. And
was just pulling your leg.
Out by the Everglades, you have to worry about gators in your pools, though.
And in your paddle boats.
For real. Like my grandfather used to chase him out of his garbage with a broom. Like you would raccoons or squirrels up north. He used to go out with his broom and smack the alligators. I'm talking like a 10-foot alligator, and he'd be like, "Get out of my yard, Grandfather." That's what you should go out with, Ken.
Yes, indeedy. Welcome to my hood.
People underestimate the importance of the alligators, okay? The alligators are our friends. And
That's why
people
you
should...
mess with them.
You don't mess with them, but they are our friends. And up here in Gainesville, Popeye, they actually have ponds with alligators in them and prairies with alligators in them. And occasionally I'll go out there and I'll take any of the leftover fluoride from my local water municipality and I'll feed it to the alligators. Okay?
Delicious.
And if you want to see some dumbed down fluoride alligator meat that you deep fry, make alligator nuggets out of, oh man, it's delicious. And then I sprinkle some aspartame and MSG, you got a meal.
One of you guys bring us out. Go ahead.
No thank you.
Not everybody jump all at once.
Not everybody jump at once. Hey, this is Ken from the Information Nation here on WTF.
Hey, it's Bob Tuskin from the Bob Joe.
And we have Joe Joseph.
Of the
Freedom
three
Way.
most edible food plant.
Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. What other radio station out there rocks a harpsichord for you? That's right. Only Orion, baby. Only Orion. We've got Jules here, and Popeye, and Bob, and Ken. And we're all going to sing Kumbaya right now to the harpsichord.
No, we're not.
You notice... You know, I want to stay on the schooling thing for. I know this is the final segment of the first hour. Second hour, we can get into the bill that's on the Senate floor that Jules was talking about and a few other things. But did you notice what they took out of school and what they kept in?
Me.
Like well, program-wise, not us. And of course,
the arts.
Yes, that's what I mean. The arts,
of course,
wood
man.
shop, metal shop, auto shop.
But what does the arts do? What the art
it opens your mind.
Brain going at the same time.
It's your critical thinking skills. Yeah, all that kind of stuff goes bye-bye when you take the arts away.
Yep,
you know?
And the music and
how you interpret things. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It just
especially for kids like myself who are just, naturally inclined to be autistic.
Well, dude, I mean, think about it.
Artistic.
If you want to be a philosopher there, Bobby, all I got to say is you got to have the arts. Got to have it. I mean, what would the world be without Bob Marley?
And Bob Tuskin, yeah.
Would it be without Bob Marley? We'd have stuff like this.
I remember you.
Oh, boy. No yodeling. No yodeling
Fail.
is secure.
No yodeling. Oh,
the yodeling lamp is out throughout the ship.
That's not yodeling.
Oh, God. Martians' heads are exploding all over the world right now.
Yes. All of you. Anunnaki. God.
All the reptilians that are listening to this are going to...
That's music appreciation.
Wow. What? That hurt, man.
Yeah, it did.
So now that's That's some island music right there, okay?
To a vintage Information Nation show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Battle of the Bands.
It was Popeye and I that hijacked your show and started playing all sorts of bad music. Oh, boy.
Here's Popeye's music.
What the F is this again? This is definitely
Leonard Skinner.
Sometimes I want to light up underneath the no smoking sign.
That's too funny. I used to do that. When I used to smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke anymore.
So no, you catch fire. You'll smoke. You'll scream, too.
Yeah?
Well, not anymore. They have all the chemical retardants in there now.
Oh, man.
So now if you don't continue to smoke the cigarette, it goes out. That's nice. I remember when cigarettes would just burn naturally because it was tobacco and paper. I mean, it's not like there's not enough crap inside the cigarette already. I suggest you just quit, but I know they're addictive. My wife, she's addicted to them still. She's doing good, though. She's trying. She's fighting the good fight against the addiction. I myself quit over 5 years ago. I'm to the point where if I smell it, it smells like ass. So you'll get to that point. And I used to smoke like a pack and a half a day.
Hey, guys, I think I found Ken's new song for his show. You know, he's been
Bring
doing
it on, Bob.
Here we go. Check it out, Ken. This is just for you. It's a brand new hit for the Information Nation. Your host, Ken. On the Orion Talk Radio Network. Are you ready? Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To be gay, let's rejoice with the boys in the gay way. Hooray for the kind of man that you will find in the gay way.
Wow.
So gay to be gay, let's rejoice.
Bob, where did you find this? I remember you sent me this video clip a couple months back. You were like, dude, what in the hell is this? Where did you find that originally?
Well, I was searching music for the Celtic Rebels show, and that's what I found.
And then we have Bob. What can I say, Bob? Here's yours. The new Bob Tuskin show, ladies and gentlemen.
Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho.
That's all of us.
Farm where life is beautiful all the time.
Do you know, I remember that from Dr. Demento. Do you remember that show from the 70s? No? Yes, no. Dr. Demento. We used to have like a little transistor radio and we'd tune it in. And that was one of my favorite tunes that he would play.
Dr. Demento.
Dr. Demento. See, Rich remembers.
Who remembers Creepy Fred Rogers?
You mean Mr. Rogers?
That's
cool. I remember him.
It's make-believe, kids.
With the scary puppets.
Yeah, and then the ugly, like, pedophile puppet king comes out, you know, we're going to eat your soul, little boy.
And then Mr. Speedy, the mailman.
That show was creepy. Did you ever see the internet rumor that he was, like, covered in tattoos and he was former Special Forces? Fred Rogers? That cracked me up. It's like, yeah, right. Like Jesse Ventura doing Fred Rogers show. Welcome to Mr. Ventura's neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, do you remember?
The king would pop up, he'd snap its neck.
Do you remember Saturday Night Live?
Remember Chicken Man? He's everywhere, he's everywhere.
Oh, man.
Ken's done way too much LSD tonight.
Yeah.
He's having.
What about Saturday Night Live, Jules?
Eddie Murphy. Remember Eddie Murphy did the Mr. Rogers, but it was Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood?
Oh, yeah.
Saturday Night Live.
Remember Land Shark?
Yes.
Oh, man.
That was when they actually did comedy. That was when there was real... Now everything is just like stupid fart jokes, and there's nothing of real value on TV anymore.
Well,
It's entertainment.
They've lowered the humor to a sexual and a potty joke level all the time. That's all it is. Sex jokes and potty jokes. But we're talking about creepy, zany people here in the music field. Don't forget Tiny Tim. I mean, is he not the most...
creepy.
Oh, yeah, he is a creepy bastard. Good call, Bob.
And he was on The Muppet Show. Do you remember that? With his ukulele?
Listen to this. He had that little ukulele.
He's something that went wrong. Herman's picture has another creepy bastard. Him too.
What about
I have a chair that talks. Come sit on my face. Creepy.
Oh, but that was the greatest show. Did you ever watch that as a kid? I have the entire box set here because it was the most twisted kids show on the planet. Yeah.
Pee-wee's perverted pedophilia playhouse? No.
Yes. It was so messed up.
Just like a little kid. I'm like 50. I'm gonna go jerk off in a movie theater in public, even though people know who I am. Idiot.
Well, do you remember Andy Kaufman? Remember how odd he was?
Another one.
Steal this book?
What the hell is that?
This is Pee-wee's Playhouse theme song.
Oh, it is. It is.
I like to be a pedophile.
Exactly.
Come to my playhouse. It's right next to Boys Town.
That whole laugh is creepy.
This was a boring introduction. Jeez.
It was more like video.
Yeah.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh.
And pull yourself up a chair. Let the fun begin. It's time to let down your hair.
What the hell was this?
But you see my point? The chair talks, Bob.
All chairs talk, don't they?
On the chair's face. This guy is such a toolbox. Like, this is what your children are watching, and now it's not even this. Now it's Purple Dinosaur.
Didn't this seem like it was drug induced? I mean, that's what I always assumed it was.
What the hell are the Teletubbies, Jules?
They were kids used to do acid to those and watch them. They're off the air now. But
I wonder why.
Hey, we're coming up to the top of the hour break. Just in case anybody cares.
We're going to go watch Pee-wee's Playhouse during the break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a few minutes. If you're in the chat room, tell us what you think was the creepiest shit on television.
The following program may contain subject matter and language that those with a weak constitution will find distasteful and offensive. You've been warned.
Come on, man. WTF.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with hour number 2 of WTF. And the topic right now is creepy children's shows that are teaching your children it's okay to be cool with pedophiles. And last segment, we were talking about creepy shows. And John Connor in the chat room brought up one, I guess, from Canada, and it was called Dress Up Man or something like that. And it was really, really creepy. And so we called him during the break to ask him, and he agreed to come on air and hang out with us for the next hour. So I'd like to welcome to the show John. John, say hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Now, what were you talking about? Mr. Dress Up Man? What the hell is this?
This was a kid's show called Mr. Dress Up. Okay, now, it was very creepy, much like Mr. Rogers, but there was more to it because he would actually play dress up, and there would be every episode, he would go to his tickle trunk. So him and the kids would go to the tickle trunk and open the tickle trunk, and then they would play dress up.
This is actually the theme from Mr. Dress Up, folks, in case you were wondering what that music is. It's not a bumper, it's theme music.
The tickle trunk really kills me.
Yeah, and they have a little drawing of it here. The tickle trunk.
Oh, wait.
Mr. Dress Up. And a big rainbow flag, okay? They have a big rainbow flag.
I always wonder what Elton John did when he was...
Hold on, guys. Wait, Bob. Turn this up a little bit.
Room in my house. I don't think you've seen this room before. This is my spare bedroom, and it's where people stay when they sleep overnight in my house. They stay in this spare bed. But today we're going to use it for something else, because today we're going to do a story, or have a story about a blanket, and we're going to do a play about a blanket too, a blue blanket. And our friend Lisa's coming over, and she's going to be in the play, and Aunt Bird's going to come over and watch, and I'm going to be in the play too. And the reason I'm in the bedroom here is because the play is about a little girl, and this is going to be her bedroom. So part of the play will be here. But I have fixed up the bedroom to make it look a little bit more like a kid's room, with some toys. So I brought a bunch of the toys we have up here. And I'm going to scatter them around. I guess I can put the teddy... sort of this shape. Have a good time in your rocket up here in the moon. Bye-bye.
This is awful.
I'm trying to find the actual tickle trunk part, but I guess
this is so effing creepy. And the John,
WTF, man.
Exactly.
I mean, it gets creepier because there's this other stage in the back. I guess it's his backyard or something. Or there's this big fake tree, and then there's these two puppets that he always plays with and talks to, named Casey and Finnegan. And then he talks to this alligator out at this trading post, and I mean the whole thing, it just reeks of pedophilia.
The alligators feeds the kids case.
I got bad news though. I got bad news. See, Rich Florida says that he sounds like G. Edward Griffin. Oh no, he was Mr. Dress Up.
That would be. I doubt that he was Mr. Dress Up. I assume that would have already been out there. That guy's creepy, dude.
Yeah, there might have actually been a scandal with him and kids.
Gee, that doesn't...
Judging by what I've heard, I wouldn't be surprised.
That rascal, and he brought him strings and sealing wax and some other fancy stuff.
Creepy.
That sounded like Puff the Magic Dragon, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I bet you
love that tune.
That's what the guy calls his penis. He's like, Puff the Magic Dragon.
Well, do you know we used to have that on an 8-track tape?
God, pedophiles disgust me. These pricks should all be hung and not tight enough to kill them, tight enough to make them dance for 15 to 20 minutes, while the family members of these victims, and the victims themselves, if they would like, get to take a knife and gut them alive, castrate them, do whatever they want to do, but make sure you at least go from stem to stern, stem being their dick, stern being their sternum, and open them up like a deer.
Jeez.
I really have no use for pedophiles, dude. That stuff really disgusts me. When you hurt children like that,
yep.
There is no end to what they should do to you. And I don't mean a 16-year-old kid getting charged with being, with sex crimes because he sends pictures of his dick to some other 16-year-old girl. That I find to be bullshit as well. I'm talking about these guys that really go out and they pull kids and they rape little kids or this kind of pet crap.
Do you know who the pedophiles fear the most? It's another one of these childhood favorites that you might remember. It's the one and only Flying Purple People Eater.
Well, I saw the thing coming out of the sky. It had a one long horn and one big eye. I commenced to shaking in the center.
What do you think he's talking about?
People eater to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater.
A one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me.
One-eyed.
He really came down to earth and he lit in a tree. I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, don't eat me.
I have no idea what he was talking about.
Probably talking about his Johnson, the one-eyed purple people eater.
Flying purple people eater.
One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Did you expect this when you came on the show?
No, I did not expect it, but I listened to the broadcast a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't stop laughing, so I figured I'd tune in again tonight.
You'd see the abuse.
Yes, good balance, serious to joking and back and forth. So,
do you guys remember the Smoggies? They had a really weird. They were. It was like this environmental cartoon from like the early '90s or something, and they were like these little troll people. And then there was the Smoggies they were like drove this boat and they just basically drove around dumping oil in the lake.
You have to remember, Bob Tuskin is still a young guy. He has all of the tracks and stuff.
Actually, YouTube, you can find anything, Ken. Check it out. It really is a great technology.
That's actually Bob's DVD copy, though, that he's playing.
Yeah, the Smoggies. I like this.
Bob just brought it up on his DVD. He was like, I got this.
You know what it reminds me of? One
Is
of
that
my
the
favorites.
third or fourth season, Bob?
Oh, that was all of the seasons. I have every Smoggy season. I am one of the biggest Smoggy fans there is. But
giving him a jab, man.
Yeah, I like it. But you know what my favorite part is? My favorite show is in regards to environmental warriors. And this is probably more of a show from my time, but you guys might know of it. Oh, yeah. You know it.
Your powers combined, I am Captain Planet.
Captain Planet, he's the hero.
Gonna take the mission down
to zero.
And he's fighting on the planet side. Captain Planet, he's our hero. Gonna take pollution down to zero.
Fukushima.
Gonna save
Gulf oil spill is a real rotten mess, but Captain Planet will come and take them.
Ladies and gentlemen, after this, I think you'll have to admit that Bob Tuskin, being the Bob Tuskin, has won the Battle of the Bands. Because you have to remember, he is Bob Tuskin.
I'm telling you, dude.
The power is yours, Ken.
You put your they put their 4 rings together, and out comes an asshole. Look, it's Al Gore. Stop. I'll save you from Man Bear Pig. Run. Look at the poor bear. The polar bear is drowning. It went under the water. Oh, my God. Cut the video. I can't stand to watch it. Yeah, because you don't want to watch him come back up with a fish in his mouth, right? Right, Al?
Walton in the chat said Captain Planet. He's secretly Al Gore.
He is Al Gore.
I'm super cereal.
Oh, my God. Who here would like to get Al Gore in a room with a bat? Look at that.
I just like to let him work in the shop for a while.
Thoughts of Al Gore locked up to a chair and the host with a baseball bat and a line out the door comes up and we go to break. Ladies and gentlemen, ponder that. How much would you pay? Instead of what would you do for a Klondike bar, what would you do for a chance to take out Al's knees with a Louisville Slugger? We'll be right back.
Enough to draw people toward it. I feel that it will be. But it will emerge from my dialogue with the American people. I've traveled to every part of the country.
song at the end of your show, and then Adolf says gay shrooming midgets. They weren't talking about.
Before all that, somebody wrote, "I'm going to expose them," and then they wrote the Intel Hub.
No.
Yeah, go further up.
Yeah, I see that. We're taking over the world. I'm going to expose them.
Let me know. I have my hammer.
No. That person's been cool, actually, 6011. They've been in for a while.
All right. Fair enough.
I think we blew right by the bumper.
Are we back on?
Yeah, I have been for about 15 or 20 seconds.
Nah. I don't believe it.
Mr. Green Jeans.
Dialogue with the American
And he goes, I hate him too.
I've traveled to every part of this country during the last 6 years. During my service in the United States Congress, I took the initiative in creating the Internet. I took the initiative in moving forward a whole range of...
Oh, everybody thank Al Gore because he took the initiative to create the Internet, and here is SOPA to wash it all away.
SOPA, the Protect IP Act. Don't forget the military coming to get you if you're a bad person now. Because, hey, you could be a terrorist.
Did we even have bumper coming in? No?
I didn't
hear it.
Nobody heard it.
All I was doing was watching the clock.
No. Well, the clock watches us on WTF.
So, you guys want to hear...
Once in a while, there's a technical snafu. No big deal. Go on, Jules. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to ask if you wanted to hear a story talking about children and children's oddnesses. Just before we came on tonight, I ran across a story on a friend's page about Arizona Gun Club lets children hold high-powered guns while posing for Christmas pictures. And they let the children be photographed with Santa against a backdrop of either an $80,000 Garwood minigun or SGC's coolest belt-fed machine gun.
Wait, as in like Gatling gun, minigun?
I believe so.
Does it have a round barrel and it's got multiple barrels on it? It's round
there's no
and it's got multiple barrels on it?
No.
Actually, that's usually what a minigun is. Those things are awesome.
I wanted to know if there were any reindeer hanging behind Santa.
Well, the caption on the website says, Santa's back with his bag of goodies. Get your holiday picture with Santa and his machine guns. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I can't wait till the government gets a hold of those pictures.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they'll say child abuse, except when the CPS goes to get the kids, CPS will be up on the wall with the deer.
I love it.
That's what happens when you go into the wrong parts of the country. Hey, I have a question. Going back to creepy kid stuff, are there still Saturday morning cartoons on TV anymore, or no? Did they do away with that?
Kind of. I mean, cartoons are on all the time now. Everything's on demand, and then there's 24-hour channels. We don't watch any of them. We watch one show.
Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking back to the days when TVs turned off at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the American flag went on.
Yeah.
And you would just see the flag waving, or they would have the fire inside the fireplace, and the note would say programming will resume at 6 a.m. or whatever.
I tried to heat my house with that channel one year, and all my plumbing burst. I don't know why you guys are laughing at me.
Did they have that crap up in Canada too, John?
Yeah, the fireplace channel. I figured, why pay these high hydro and gas bills? They just put the fireplace channel on, and that should do it, right? And if it gets a little too cold, they just fire up a second TV, and away we go. But it didn't work.
Would you like to run for Congress?
Would you like to be the president?
I am secretly an advisor.
What are you, the economic advisor?
Yeah. We just change it to the money printing channel. It just prints more money. That's how we fix the economy. We all watch that channel and we're good.
Actually, that's pretty good because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's the same up here in Canada. Canada pretends it has a good banking system, and it's the same fiat fractional reserve system you guys have.
Yeah, but we've got the best thieves money can buy.
But so did they. Why did you guys vote that asshat back into power? Or do you guys think he stole the election?
Oh, the Prime Minister?
Yeah, what's his name? Harper,
Stephen
right?
Harper?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's an evil bastard. Look at him.
Yeah, of course he is, but so are his other counterparts. It's the same. It's the same deal.
Where like everyone's corrupt everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, even the Green Party that has 5% support, the Green Party in Canada, the maybe the Libertarian Party might not be. They have like maybe 0.5% support.
What's the deal with that guy Jack that just died? They venerated him like a god.
Yeah, we're not sure. The NDP party is definitely shady. I mean, they're all signed on to UN Agenda 21. All the parties, even the Separatist Party in Quebec, the Bloc Québécois, who wants to separate from Canada, is signed on to an international world parliament under the UN. So it's just a facade. The whole thing's a joke.
Wow, that's pretty disheartening. I guess I always thought Canada was a little bit better than here. Not much, but...
Well, I mean, we're lax on like marijuana laws and stuff like that. You know, you pretty much anywhere you go in Canada, you're not going to get nailed for pot, or if you do, they'll most likely take it and you get a $200 ticket or something. Unless it's the G20, then all of a sudden the Canadian cops, that blew my mind, because all of a sudden you had, cops who I always, you Canadians, you guys always make fun of us for being John Wayne type stuff, and always running in and shooting stuff up and everything. And, being, you guys are so macho, like ball busting wise, and yet your cops did the same thing ours did, and it surprised me even more coming from you guys, because, I don't know, I guess we kind of, always thought that Canada was more civilized, and after I saw Dan Dix's movie, Into the Fire, I was like, wow, they just totally turned on their own citizens. So it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter where you go, they've all been trained the same way. They're all dogs for the elite, and they will turn on us because they get paid to, and that's their job. Their job is to control us. It's not to protect us. It's to protect them from us. That's what their job is.
Well, didn't they just open the border for cross-border police forces, right? Weren't they going to combine forces with the Canadian Border Patrol and then have them cross over? So Americans were going to go up into Canada, and the Canadians are coming down here.
Our water, yeah, and our Coast Guard's going to go into their water. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a lot of illegal Canadians in this country.
Yeah, because, you got to be careful those Canadians hopping the fence, because that's really important.
The Niagara Gorge.
Well, they all all Canadians are like the guys in the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh my God,
you guys know that
that's
show?
so funny. Yes,
they're all like that. Every single Canadian is out of a scene from the Trailer Park Boys. Either they're like Bubbles, or like Julian. And he's got his grade 8. He always wanted to get his grade 8. Is this not true, John?
Bob. I got my grade 10, Bob. I got it on my sleeve.
I mean, talk about weird shows and classic sort of shows. That one right there is a lot of fun, I got to tell you. The Canadians, who would have thought they have a good sense of humor? I would have never guessed. Never. And they all come down to South Florida and love the beaches and drive like shit.
Here comes break music.
Bring us out, Ken.
I can't top this stuff.
It's Ken from the Information Nation. Sundays.
Sunday. On beautiful Orion Talk Radio. We'll be back right after this break at the bottom of the hour.
And we're back. WTF, this is Jules. I'm here with Popeye, Bob Tuskin. Joe, I think, has left us for the evening. We have Ken.
Yes, I believe Joe punched out. I believe he pulled the ripcord for the evening. He has to get up
sand.
early. Yes, he had some sand in his vagine.
And we have John Connor.
Hello.
Who?
This is John
He's
Connor.
a Vatican assassin.
John Connor.
The guy that knows the Terminator?
John, I think I've had you on my show before. Weren't you the guy who did some... What is that? That's not John Connor. Anyway, oh, no. Not one of Ken's musical interludes.
Oh, no.
But, John, are you not the guy that did the Info Jam? Is that not your idea?
It's still going on there. They're still jamming. I don't know who they're jamming now, but they're jamming somebody.
Info Jam is pretty cool. And John, do you not have a show of your own now?
Yeah, we're over at canadalive.yolasite.com. For all the people who live in Canadistan, they can come check it out and see what we're talking about.
It's one of my favorite shows from Canadistan. First Afghanistan, next Canadistan. Check it out.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear about you're from Canada, you might have heard about this, John. A Canadian scientist found a deadly virus, quote unquote, that's infecting the ocean salmon. Did you hear about this?
Oh, it's probably the Fukushima radiation.
Well, who
Is it
knows
on the
what the
West
hell it is,
Coast?
but it's interesting that this comes out just as the time the GMO salmon comes on the market. Check this out.
Virus, or ISA, is a killer. Once it gains a foothold, it can spread like wildfire. ISA nearly wiped out Chile's salmon farming industry 3 years ago. Now it's being found in 4 kinds of wild salmon in British Columbia. How it got there, no one knows.
The most likely explanation is that it was brought in definitely by humans and probably through the aquaculture industry.
In the U.S., salmon fishing is a multi-billion-dollar industry supporting tens of thousands of fishermen, packing plant workers, and others. At the U.S. government's Western Fisheries Research Center, senior biologist Jim Winton says better monitoring and testing of wild salmon is urgently needed.
We have a wake-up call that we need to increase our surveillance until we know more about the strain of the virus that may be present in a different part of the world. We can't really predict what that would do for local populations.
U.S. environmentalists say Canada's large-scale offshore salmon farms, where fish live crowded together, are a potential breeding ground for disease and should be made safer.
The only way to really do that is to move the fish farms onto land. And then if you have the farms on land, you can treat the effluent, remove the viruses and the bacteria and other parasites.
Early in November, Canadian officials retested tissue samples from the fish thought to be infected with ISA and found no evidence of the virus. But some environmentalists are skeptical of those results, noting that the same agency tasked with protecting wild fish health is also in charge of increasing and promoting aquaculture.
Scientists say the one thing that's for certain now is the need for more research and monitoring to make sure that this valuable natural resource isn't put at risk.
So he just said that the agency, that the aquaculture, that that's supposed to overlook things, they're tied in with aquaculture. And what did you catch the guy say? What did you catch the one Canadian scientist saying? That it was brought there by man, probably somebody in the aquaculture industry.
Yeah. Well, it's probably the people who design these genetically modified fish. But all I know is we got an emergency on our hands, and we better get down there and start vaccinating all these fish before they get sick. And I don't really have much. I don't know. We go to the dollar store, grab some thermometers, and start jamming those in the fish. Try to save them that way.
What do they have? Maybe we can take all those old H1N1 vaccines. Maybe we can re-engineer them to be used to save the salmon. What do you think?
Yeah, the new fish vaccines. If they're safe for humans, they must be safe for fish.
So let's try it.
All right.
And Bob can bring some tubes of toothpaste and give it to the workers there to eat, just in case any of them get hungry.
Did you catch the one thing that the man said, though? They want to bring the fish on shore. John, I really hate to tell you guys, but fish kind of die when they're out of water.
Yeah. But also on a serious note, I've looked into the fish farming industry because I was interested in it years ago. And it turns out these fish farms, the health of the fish is really bad. And the fish that you get is not very good at all. Wild fish is way better and way healthier than farmed fish. I know some local people who looked into actually getting into fish farming. And
well, some of these were fish farms, but they weren't big tanks. You could see it was literally outdoor, like wild fish farms where they were.
Yeah.
Obviously it was like sunken cages or wire or whatever to keep them in a certain area, but they were.
They have these new sort of buckyball looking sort of cages that they put in the middle of the ocean. They have cobia and different fish in them, and they're pretty cool. I looked into that, and it's pretty safe. It's essentially wild fish, but you have a big enough cage for them in the natural ocean so that they can swim around freely. Also, aquaponics is something that I was very much interested in. And in fact, I worked at a farm for a little bit who was a good friend of mine, who was ran by a good friend of mine. And the aquaponics was awesome. To be able to take a fish out of a system that you grew yourself, and also you can control how many fish you have per square inch of water, so that you can avoid some of the problems that other farming of fish brings. And with the aquaponics, you take a fish out, you hit the fish over the head, usually tilapia. That's what my friend had, and down here in Florida, that's what you grow. And you can cook that fish and some veggies right from the same system, and it's a closed loop symbiotic system. If you haven't looked into aquaponics, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the problems that I found was exactly what you're describing. Is when farmers were running it like the Monsanto or the big factory farms, where they'd have too many fish in the same tank, and they couldn't keep the water clean enough. Wasn't enough room for them.
Well, that's
and
where
there's also what they're feeding them
from.
And also what they were feeding them, these little pellets that looked almost like dog kibbles.
Well, do you guys have the GMO fish, like the GMO salmon up by you yet? Because I know they were talking about using it down here, and the FDA okayed for it to get eaten, but it hasn't been released into the wild yet. And that's what's creepy, is because these GMO salmon, are raised in these farms that you're talking about. These very, unclean farms. God knows what the hell's in the salmon, because they're mutants, because they have their genes intermingled with insects.
Yeah, so, that weird one.
Yeah, I mean, we're effing with the ecosystem. One day we're going to wake up and there's going to be a 16-foot tall lizard or something outside eating people, or some mutant or whatever running around eating people, and everybody's going to wonder why.
I'm running my car off of Fukushima salmon, and I get about 4,000 miles off a pound. like this is how messed up things are getting. And we got trout tomatoes spliced with trout genes, and your tomatoes swimming off your plate. I mean, this is the island of Dr. Moreau, but for real.
My sister worked on that movie, The Isle of Dr. Moreau.
That was a pretty messed up movie.
What did she do?
The movie sucked. And
she worked for the studio, but the cheetah ate the monkey. And Marlon Brando.
In real life? Wait, in real life?
Yeah, she gets this phone call, and they're freaking out on set. The cheetah ate the monkey. And then she gets these crazy letters from Marlon Brando. He would send, requests to the studio, and he would write them in crayon and fax them over. She said he was completely insane.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Funny. I joke about my listeners writing down our phone number with crayon, but that brings new meaning to that. Very funny.
Yeah, every time I hear the name, I think of the cheetah ate the monkey.
Yeah, well, we're going to be the monkey, and we're going to have some big mutant effing cheetah that's like 150 pounds heavier than normal, and it's got wings. And it probably has free thought and doesn't like human beings and is pissed. Seriously, we are effing with the wrong things. We really keep doing stuff that we should not be doing. We shouldn't be mixing. Why are we taking spiders and goats and making body armor out of their milk? Hello?
And there are no international laws against it.
I can't get the goat out of the corner of my ceiling here. That's my problem.
That damn Canadian spider goat that's up in the corner of John's ceiling. Ladies and gentlemen, the music means we're going to break. We'll be right back. Beware of John's spider goat. It's large. It's like
I stare at goats.
Oh, I'm sure you do, Bob. I'm sure that's not the only thing you stare at.
I bet you talk to him, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the final segment of WTF. Guys, I want to thank you for hanging out and, in the virtual bar that we call this show and just, chit-chat and shooting the shit, whatever. John, thanks for coming on last minute. That was pretty cool. And thank you for clarifying what Mr. Dress-Up is, because now I am forever scarred by hearing about it.
Yeah, I've always been scarred by that.
Jesus. I thought Canada had a better chance than we did, but no, you guys are just as screwed. Mr. Dress-Up. That explains a lot about Bob, because now I understand why he acts the way he does. Bob probably watched Mr. Dress-Up.
Shit, I swallow toothpaste. I eat toothpaste.
Do you? You eat toothpaste?
Bob is Mr. Dress-Up.
Well, Ken, actually, you're old enough to be Mr. Dress-Up, and you got that creepy, low monotone voice.
Not me.
Ken, say, this is my bedroom.
Wanted to go.
Just say, this is my spare bedroom where my friends sleep.
This is my spare bedroom where all my friends sleep. Send your little girls and boys over to my house.
It's creepy, dude. Ugh, Mr. Dress-Up. That takes the cake, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say. John wins the gold star for the day, and when we were having a contest of the creepiest shit, and that takes the cake. It even makes Pee-wee's Big Adventure or Playhouse or whatever the F that was. And that makes that show makes that look tame. The whole tickled trunk. Ugh. The trunk's where he hides the kid's body. That's what the trunk's for. He's like, get in the trunk, little boy. Just get in there.
Hey, did you see they got a new thing going on now at Syracuse?
Yeah,
of course they do.
Yeah, they just fired the assistant basketball coach over there for doing his thing with little kids.
I said it was going to happen. I said,
and his wife watched.
Of course, because they're Satanist assholes. There's only one way to deal with these people.
Send your kid to college and let them learn about sex the hard way. That used to be six the hard way. Now it's sex the hard way.
Shit, I swallow toothpaste. I eat toothpaste.
That's the average. That's the average. Actually, that's probably the average professor. That's probably Bob's economics professor.
Actually, that's exactly who that was.
Oh, goody. Man, I don't know. I don't know if sometimes I have days where I have to say to myself, is there any hope that the world is not going to end because the children of today, which is the future of tomorrow, are so effing retarded that they can't even operate the register at McDonald's? That's the future we face if we don't do something.
They've got pictures on all of their stuff over there. You order a Big Mac, and they look for the Big Mac picture, and they push the button.
And they fail at that, dude. I mean, so that should tell you something.
You give them $10, and they still can't make correct change.
Yeah, and the
That's
price
our
is
educational
$9.99,
system.
Well, it's fun to mess them up if you're one of those people that likes to get exact change. So you give them, I don't know, say it's like $2.35 or something. So you give them $2.55 and they don't know what to do. If you only had 2 quarters.
Yeah, or you give them 20, 35. And then they're totally screwed. They're just out to no man's land. You're like, give me $18 back.
Yeah, what?
And they're like, what?
And I got to call my manager.
Yeah. I get this all the time.
Oh, John, you're just as screwed up there in Canada as we are down here, but there's we got more people, so we can screw faster.
Yeah, they have more land to go bug out and hide in.
Or freeze to death in, whichever.
Yeah, I don't want these morons in my friggin' bug out hole or whatever, dude. You know? These are the last people you want in an emergency situation with you. I have family members that are like that. Douchebag. Exactly. A number one. There are really seriously people out there that they can't handle, like you said, you give them 10 cents over change and they're like, look at you, and they don't know what to do. Like, you can just give me a dime back. I know that's not hard. I'm sure your computer will tell you. When I was a kid, you weren't allowed to use calculators.
You've got karma.
When I was a kid, we had calculators that you weren't allowed to use them. They were simple, regular calculators, and Texas Instruments was just coming out with these graphing calculators, which you couldn't keep. You could only use when you were in the classroom on certain things that the teacher let you. Now every kid's got a pocket calculator or his computer or their iPod or whatever, their cell phone, and it does graphing for them, and you type everything in, and yeah, that's beautiful, and that's the easy way, but you're not making them learn anything. You're not making them, I even force myself now to go back and do things without the use of, like, GPS. I write instructions down and stuff, and I read maps. I know how to read a map, but that's something that, it's like anything, you want to knock the rust off of it once in a while, so I don't use my GPS. I got lazy, and I started playing with my GPS all the time. I'm not doing that. First of all, they can track where you go, and second of all, why do I want to get used to that? What happens if the grid goes down? So
I see morons. They're everywhere.
Yeah, that's all that's around us right now.
No, they're morons.
Oh, no, I think they know, Ken. Because you ever see the look on their face?
No, they're not smart enough to realize they're morons.
That's true. They're probably so dumb they maybe, I'm stupid. It's like Idiocracy. I think Mike Judge was literally having an epiphany when he wrote that. You ever see the movie?
No.
Well,
Yeah.
you gotta go watch Idiocracy. All the smart people. It's kind of a comedy, but it's like if you look at it back in the day when it was out, it was like, well, things are never going to get that bad, and literally that's what it is. Like today, all the smart people didn't want to have kids because they were too busy, like, with their careers and everything, and only people that were having kids were like, Yahoo! Like the dumbest guy on the football team, and he banged every girl that was on the cheerleading squad, and he got them all pregnant. And that's who was, bringing children into the world. They were bringing all these nitwits in, fluoride heads. Like Bob's buddy over there that eats toothpaste.
Okay, Bob, you asked for it.
Okay. That's the worst crap ever, dude.
All right, I can't take it.
Take that, Bob.
Waking up is fluoride in my cup.
Where the hell did you find that? Not the chicken crap. I know where you found that. Where did you find the fluoride thing?
This morning waking up is fluoride in my cup.
That's Bob.
No Agenda soundboard. No Agenda is a radio show. I guess it's Adam Curry and a few other guys. They actually put together a pretty cool soundboard. I like it.
WTC7 won't go away.
Wait a minute, Adam Curry, as in...
Yeah, the VJ.
As the Adam Curry from MTV.
As in the VJ.
He's a truther?
Yeah, that's what I understand. He's got a soundboard here with all sorts of truth related stuff.
You think he's full of shit?
I think it's pretty cool. I like this one.
Monsanto.
And don't forget this one.
The science is in.
Oh,
You
and
just sent
last
me
but not
the
least,
link for this, dude. You really did.
Last but not least, a personal favorite of mine, the Slave Song.
Slaves built the pyramids. Slaves built the Parthenon. Slaves built America. Slaves, this is your song. Thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Slaves. This is your song. Thank you. Order. Shut up.
I can't get over the fact that this is MTV VJ Adam Curry.
Yeah.
You got to drop me that link, Bob.
This guy
Yeah,
was a
it's
total
a lot of fun.
douchebag when I was a kid.
Yeah, he was into himself, wasn't he?
Do you remember him? This guy was a total scumbag. He was like, I don't know if I trust him. Oh, look at that. We're out of time. Bob closes with Adam Curry. Yes, douchebag Adam Curry, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, thanks for hanging out. John, thanks for coming on. Ken, Bob, Jules. Listeners, thanks for listening to this show. We were all over the place tonight, but that's the beauty of the show. We never sit in one spot for too long. I'll see you on my show Wednesday, and we'll see you here again next week at WTF.
This whole